So hello guys, I'm Tim. You already know me, I hope, from from some of the last podcasts. I was there like 2 or 3 times, and I'm really happy to have a nice new podcast now with Emils and Costin.
What's up, man?
What's
You
up?
already, you already know these guys, and we're speaking today. We want to speak about financials and how we want to invest and how important is money for us and all the topics which are surrounding it. But as I know us, we will probably speak about way more. So just stay tuned. But it will start with a question: how much money we want to have.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So welcome to Philosophy Culture. Yeah, me here, Carsten is here, Tim is here. Carsten, do you have some last words?
No, just check it out, man.
Check it out. There we go. All right. So money talks.
Money talks. So yeah, what does money mean to us?
Yeah. Who wants to start?
Now one of you can start actually, because I always start.
Okay,
ahead.
okay.
Go ahead, Emils.
All right, all right. Well, freedom in a way, like or in many ways. If you have money, you can do like what you want. You can afford to have a family, to buy the materialistic things you want as well. And I think even a deeper meaning to having a stable what you call it, like it's just to be good financially, is that as a human being, I think we all have what you call it. We have a responsibility, like to do good in our surroundings, right? And especially as a young man, yeah, I think it even like adds to that as well.
Mm.
Damn, my
Two
my
main
my
points.
formulation was totally off, but yeah. I hope you understood what I meant.
You had the two main points, freedom and
Yeah.
responsibility, right? Or
Yeah,
no,
basically,
freedom
yeah.
and that money is the vehicle to do things which are good for your environment, something like that.
I think that's even a better put. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. That you can like be a good
Mhm, mhm.
source
Yeah,
of positivity in your community, or like in your country, or whatever. So,
okay. When I can directly say something to it, maybe, and then I will come with my points. But I was interested about the freedom part. Maybe later we can evaluate this a bit more because I'm not sure if money necessarily gives you freedom, to be honest. I think
interesting.
you can have freedom without money, and sometimes money even takes you freedom. Um, but it gives you freedom in a way that for materialistic stuff, absolutely, yeah, and that you can, yeah, and that especially in career with career stuff, that you can do what you really want. That's the freedom you definitely earn when you have enough money because you don't have to work. You can do what you want, career wise. But otherwise, I think it can also be a burden, to be honest. It can also be a burden. And you can see it in countries where the people don't have a lot of money. I think sometimes they're even more free than we in our society are. But it's a social construct with, again, social media and stuff like that, where when you have the feeling you have to have all these things, and then it's not freedom anymore. But so I wouldn't say necessarily freedom, but for sure, like I absolutely know what you mean. And the second point, what you said about responsibility, I agree. But I would say money is definitely like it comes with responsibility. So when you have money, you have to be more responsible. And if you are responsible with your money, then it can also give you a lot of freedom. But if you're not responsible with your money, then it can fuck you up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, Kostya, which points do you have?
Yeah, I think I was just listening at your points, and I think all of them are really, really good, and it's really interesting because like I don't think money necessarily means anything. Like if you break it down, money itself. Let's say you have money, but without the power of buying anything with it,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's just paper that you can actually just throw away.
Yeah.
But we use it as a sort of a trade. Yeah, trade
Mm. Mm.
trade material. How should you put it? Trade material, like something to
Mm.
trade with, right? Um,
Interesting, really interesting. One thing to that, maybe then it would be a better definition to say wealth, because money is just a currency of wealth. And wealth can also be if you have a lot of houses, if you have a lot of food, if you have a lot of land as a farmer or something like that, then you can also be wealthy without having a lot of money on your bank.
yeah, then it depends on how you define wealth,
Mm.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it goes deeper. Now it goes deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you said another point about social media, which I think was interesting, and you also connected it with with a lot of money comes a lot of responsibility, and that your freedom could be taken away because of the money. And
Mhm.
when you think about it, there are so many social media influencers that are just sort of feeding all kind of posts to
Mm.
how good it is to be wealthy and so on,
Mm.
uh, which I think could sort of make the viewers actually more sort of, how should I put it, more caught in this sort of money
Mhm.
maze to
Really
just
good
get
point.
money. Yeah. I don't know if you get my point. It was kind of complicated to explain how I was
Yeah,
thinking about it, but
I think I know what you mean because I think you connect what you said with what I said at the beginning about freedom, because that's what I meant. That with all this pressure, when you have money and then you are also in circles with people who also earn a lot and have a lot, then you get in the circle where I think you lose freedom actually. So maybe there's a point, what Emils means, that you need a current, like a certain money, a certain amount of money, a certain amount of wealth to have a basic freedom. But at some point, when it's get more and more, I think at some point the break even point of freedom is reached, and it, I think you don't earn more freedom through that. Like
For
I
sure.
think you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
okay, you have the maximum freedom, but then at some point you can't earn any more freedom about it.
Yeah. For sure.
And actually you lose it probably.
Yeah, and I think like when it like when your financial goals go past that point, I think it becomes more about status,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
like I don't think it really changes your life too much if you are a millionaire or a billionaire. I
Mm.
don't think it changes too much, to be honest. Like
Hmm.
in
Ooh.
terms of lifestyle, maybe like in terms of how how you can scale your business, or maybe your reach gets like bigger if you are a billionaire. But like if you are a millionaire, like what more do you actually like? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But that's probably exactly the point because as a millionaire, probably that's about the break-even point if you have some million, because then you can almost buy everything. People will always want to stay with you because
Bless you.
Let's see.
because they have a lot, so there will be fake friends who coming to you. But okay, you can always fuck, what's the word? You can always be there for your family. Let's say like that. There will always be enough for every family member and the friends, and you never have to worry about anything. So probably that's about the break-even point. But if you are a billionaire, I think it's about something completely. It's way more than we could even think about, because then there comes the responsibility, and then there comes the dependencies, because you have money in so many, it's so diversified, and you have to do with so many people who make money with your money, like all the consultants, maybe the politicians and stuff like that. So I think you need a whole company, like a wealth treatment company, in order to to make something with the money. You know what I mean? And with all the dependencies. So I think then the responsibility part comes.
Right, yeah. That's a really interesting point. I hadn't really thought about that before, but it makes sense. Makes total sense. And I think if you have such, again, same words that I mess up every damn podcast, like goddamn. But like if you have a lot of wealth, you have like this. I think it's even like more pressure not to lose it in a ways, or like to make like to keep those billions, or like whether. But when it comes to like millions, I think it's can be like spread through much less assets, if that makes sense, or like I don't know. It depends like how everything is set up, of course, but that's kind of where my head goes.
Yeah, but I think the same, that it's not about the money, about the amount anymore. Like, yeah, it is not about what you can make with your money, but it's about the power you get with it and how much it is. Maybe for some people, it's even important which place you are at the Forbes list. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that these people are driven differently than millionaires. Like billionaires are driven completely different, I think, than us, or than millionaires, or whatever, like normal people. I think there's like something which changes for the most of them, and that's probably why they do things where we would say, hey, he already has enough money, why should he do that? But I think the people are driven differently when they have.
Sure.
It's probably like a drug. I think it's like a drug, I can imagine.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I think it becomes addicting, especially like when you get into a certain position where making money kind of is relatively easy.
Yeah.
I think it can really become addicting. And as me and Carsten have covered like a few iconic people throughout history, right? We can see that being a pattern where people get lost in that high of getting more and more and more, but it doesn't really add to anything meaningful in the end. Like they just get more money, and when they look back on their life when they are old, they kind of regret of missing out on like valuable family time and like stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think we had a good example. I think Warren Buffett was a good example, right?
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, and when it comes to millionaires and billionaires, I think there is a huge difference between having like 10 million and 10 billion. It's like it's such a massive difference, and when it comes to responsibilities as well, and so on. So yeah,
For sure, yeah. And like and what Tim said about like having different types of drives almost, because if we look at, I don't know, let's say Elon Musk for example, I think his purpose is to like develop humanity. Like he isn't here for like being the best family man or whatever. Like he truly wants to bring society forward in whatever ways he can. And I think we have but like we have some of those people in this world who are just have this other type of purpose besides like family and like and they just want to.
But let's be realistic. Let's be honest. I think also Elon Musk is egoistic driven, which is absolutely not a bad thing. That's the why capitalism works. That everyone is also a little bit egoistic, and Elon Musk thinks, okay, probably he wants to make a manifest out of himself. I guess to like be the guy who developed society. You know what I mean? So I think he's not altruistic. He does it for his own purpose, but also for sure some of his inventions are definitely developing society. But I think he's not like, okay, I want to make the world. Not necessarily. I think his main drive is not, okay, I want to make the world more social, more peaceful, more more justice in the world. Yeah, but he wants to make a manifest out of himself.
Interesting. I would actually disagree with that.
Okay.
I would actually disagree with that because like we have I think you have to be somewhat altruistic to start as many companies as he has, and like truly also bring value that makes the capitalism work in his favor. And we have like seen that like also throughout history, like with Henry Ford, who's like just fascinated about like the combustion engine that like with the and he like was fascinated about cars. Same thing with Enzo Ferrari, like his whole story, like he worked all his life to develop the best type of automobile. So I think I would disagree with you on that. Actually, I think people like have altruistic drives, even if it like brings like a lot of economic gain as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like what I described is for me not a bad thing. That's how our system luckily works, and you know that I'm a really convinced capitalist. So I absolutely think it's good how we build it up. But I think that it is not the main reason of the people to be altruistic. That's what I personally think about these people. Like, I think that at first of all, you want to probably get wealth. You make your invention. You have this drive that okay, I invented something and it should be seen everywhere. So there's maybe a bit altruism because maybe this invention brings something to the society, and this was also a part of it why you invented it. But I think the main drive is not altruism. It's okay, I want to bring something on the market, I want to make money with it, I want to, and then when you have money, you want to make more out of it, you want to have more power, you want to secure your power, and next to it, you also invent something which the society needs. So for sure, it has some altruistic meaning in it because you give something what the society needs. So that's capitalism. But I think it's not his purpose to say, okay, I want to invent something which makes the world a better place. It's just like, I want to invent something where there's a market for it, And yeah, but again, it's you can never say it's like that and it's like that. For sure, even Elon Musk has some small altruism in himself and thinks that's a nice side effect, but I think he's not driven by that. And I think I would never say that billionaires are all altruistic people and they just think differently than others. I think they're just normal people, egoistic like us, like I am. And when we later speak about how much money we want to have and what we want to do with this money, then probably I would do exactly the same as Elon Musk, to invent something, to build something for a big market, but then also give something back to the society. I mean, when you invent something, you always make something for them as well. But some developments of Musk are maybe on the long run not good for the society. You could argue Starlink, or how it's called. I mean, okay, he wants to go to the Mars, but now the people from the Greens would say, okay, but this guy is just polluting the. It's not my opinion, but who says that it's good for the society what he's inventing?
Well, yeah, I think it's really nuanced than like what each person's definition
Yeah,
is like what the advanced society looks like to them.
yeah,
But I think for the longest time now, humankind has been like driven with this uh desire to make things more efficient. Like that's how we got the cars, how we got the airplanes, and like all that
that's
stuff.
also something I would disagree, Emils.
Would you? Okay, interesting.
Because but just this one small statement for the longest time, because all this like adventures, all these inventions, they all arrived in the last 500, 600 years. Before that, we had millions of years where the people were evolving by such a small amount. Maybe, okay, in the last 10,000 years, it got faster and faster and faster. But then 500 years ago, I don't know what happened, but the Europeans, they freaked out, wanted to travel all the world, wanted to do inventions, and capitalism was. So I think it has. I actually read a book about it, and he said it's the coincidence that it happened 500 years ago. A lot of things came together, and this like developed that we have so many new things in the world and developed so much.
Interesting. That's yeah. Like I was also thinking about that. Like because we have developed so much in this very short time.
Mm-hmm.
But couldn't it be the case that it has kind of become this exponential curve? Like we had to like take this long like time to like figure like these small parts out that
Mm-hmm.
would end up in this huge boom that would like lead to all these inventions.
Yeah,
Couldn't that be the case as well?
I would agree when the start of this exponential curve is 10,000 years ago with the agrar industry, agrar,
Yeah,
like
agricultural.
agriculture, exactly. Exactly. The agriculture, I think that was the starting point because that was the first time that people developed something for other people and lived together, like in small villages back in the days. But before that, like before the 10,000 years, I think there was the same development as with animals, as with cats. I mean, for sure, cats also learn how to deal with bad weather over the decades, in its evolution. It's not an evolution, but I think 10,000 years ago with the agriculture, that was the start for people to really develop more than other species.
Yeah,
It yeah, it feels like it's some sort of a compounding effect out of everything. So if you say, let's say you have fire, well, with
Mm-hmm.
fire you can make, let's say, three other things,
Mm-hmm.
and those three other things you can make six other things, and with
Mm-hmm.
those six you can make it 12, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe that could also be like,
Yeah, true.
you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see the point.
And that's why I would also I would like stand with my exponential curve argument because we have I think throughout the times we have also been kind of having these setbacks, with all these wars because humans are so what was the word again? I don't know. They want to have their own zones. They want to like even like
Yeah,
yeah sometimes occupy
yeah.
other like others' land and stuff, which have kind of delayed the development of many things. But then if we look at like the Roman Empire, like we like I hope no the Greek Empire, like I think I hope I'm saying the right thing now. But yeah, like with all these philosophers, I think that also had to take place before the airplanes could develop. Like we had to also work out our philosophical beliefs and like religions and stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So in the end, yes, we can say, okay, the people always had a kind of a drive to develop itself further. But still, I would say that like 500 years ago, probably because of things that happened, that Europeans started to think, okay, how can we make more trade? How can we make more money? They started to discover new places where they can make money with. The capitalistic system then came some 100 years later in almost all Europe. Then democracy started. So I think it just went hand to hand that it's now so fast, all this development, and that people want to invent something, that they have the drive to invent something because they know in our system it works. I think the drive 10,000 years ago or 5,000 years in the Greek times, maybe some people had a drive like that, but now there are so many people, and I think it's because of the system, how it works.
Yeah, continue. Like end your point.
Yeah, that's the end.
Okay. No, but I wanted to add this as well. I think the drive for development has always been there because human beings have like always competed against each other and like wanted to have like this, upper edge above other people, in terms of like, I don't know,
True.
weapons and everything. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But then let's draw the bridge to our starting point. But that's a good point, because then we are again at the egoistic approach, that people from their inner self have the egoistic approach to be better than others. And then they, for example, do inventions that they have more power than others because, with a successful invention, there comes a lot of good things for this person, power and money and stuff like that. So yeah, I think in the end but it's not a problem. It's not bad to say it's egoistic plus a little bit altruistic.
Oh, I thought, right?
But yeah, probably it's okay. Now I think if we continue, we would go in circles. That's why, last point about it, I would agree to you. There's definitely some altruistic approach to it, also with Elon Musk, but still, in my opinion, it's egoistic driven, like we are as people.
Okay, I have one more actually.
Tell me.
Because I think people have like this inner need to create as well.
Okay.
And that can also be like a form of self-expression, because we have countless, I think maybe we don't know, countless scientists or like, developers. But like we have, I hope it was this one I heard from the Founders podcast. I don't think it's Claude Shannon. I don't think that's the right guy, but like whatever. Like we have people who have like just been enjoying this process of creating, like growing. I think that's also like this. Uh, I actually thought about this, and I think we can actually move forward from my point, maybe that there's like these types of freedoms. Like we have the financial
Yeah.
freedom, but I think there's also like another one, which is like more of this intellectual freedom. Like the more you know, the freer you feel, and I think I would argue that that's a really strong force as well. Like besides the egoistic side, it could also be this need to intellectually develop to kind of deal with our existence, because I think people like struggle with why we are here, and like
That's a good point. That would be the curiosity part.
Yeah.
And like the people from nature are definitely curious. So that also drives for them to make inventions, to get into philosophy, to make art. Yeah, absolutely. So probably there are more drives than just egoism. Yeah, absolutely. Why should it be one drive? It's curiosity, it's altruism, it's probably it's power driven, egoistic, social, that you have a social that you get socially more accepted by people, that you have like a community. So yeah. Interesting. Gave me a new view about it. But guys, one practical, pragmatic question: how much money do you want to have? Like, what is your goal about money? How do you see money? How much do you want to have?
Carsten? Because now we have been talking so much, so I think it's your turn.
No. I was just that's a good question, to be honest. And it's interesting because I've heard so many people say that after a certain amount you don't get so much different. Like even though you have more money, it doesn't, nothing special. I mean, you can still afford and do whatever you want. So, and that limit would be like 25 million or 20 million, I think I heard. Like euros, not crowns.
Yeah. 25 million euros. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be 25 million. But yeah, I would put it, yeah, a specific amount would be 50 million.
50 million. And you have
Yeah.
some extra to the 25.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
case something happens.
Just to be above that limit. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And maybe to add, then we can also speak directly about that. What would you do with the money? Like, how do you think if you would have this now, you would work, you would get up in the ladder, and then something happens, and in 10 years you would have 50 million wealth on your, not only on your bank account, but maybe also in other areas. But what you do with the money? What would you do?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, do you mean like having 50 million in the bank, or 50 million like be worth 50 million?
Yeah, I was meaning be worth 50 million.
Be worth 50 million, yeah. I would probably, to be honest.
Let's say, sorry that I have to, but let's say now you would work 10 years and you would work all the time, and you would not build up a lot of wealth around it. You would just live like you live now, and then in 10 years you would wake up and, what the fuck, I have so much money. I collected so much money over the years. Now I have to do something with it. So imagine this situation, and what would you do now with the money?
Okay, so I would okay, so if I would just wake up one day and have 50 million in my bank.
Yeah.
That would be a nice situation. But I mean, yeah, that's a good. I would probably seek some smart people and some help on how to maintain that amount, and maybe
yeah,
sort of try to make it grow, because I don't think that every person, I mean, if a simple person would wake up with 50 million, or like, let's say just a crazy amount of money,
yeah,
I don't think that it would be that easy to actually maintain the the money.
good point.
So I think that, yeah, probably seek some sort of, yeah, of course, I mean, the easiest thing to say would be, yeah, I would invest it in real estate and stocks and so on. But the thing is that, I don't think that it is as easy as it sounds. So yeah, I would probably try to seek a mentor or seek some external help on how to spread my money around.
Okay.
And I think that's also something you learn. I mean, that's why when you see all these guys or persons that are winning like 100 million on the lottery, they probably buy a mansion and then some nice cars and then that's it.
Some hookers as well.
Yeah, that yeah, they're included in the package.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. And I think that's also part of building wealth and being sort of being stable. Because if you jump like 10 steps ahead of what you're actually prepared to have and what you're actually prepared of, you might quite easily fall off that step, in my opinion. So that's
Good point, huh? Okay, so if you would have this amount of money, you would first of all get consultants and make a lot of diversification in a lot of areas. And you wouldn't do something else? Like, would your life change in a way, or would you just get your consultants and say, okay, guys, diversify my money that I can hold, like that I can make more out of it? Or would you get some money and make something with it?
Some hookers.
For example,
Emils, you feel for some hookers today, apparently.
but it would be interesting.
I'm just joking.
The essence of my question: would your life change in a way?
It would change for sure, but I don't think I'm not like a huge spender. I don't spend money on like dumb stuff because that's just not how I am. So to say. But I mean, sure, if I would, let's say that I have this 50 million, I would seek, let's say that I put like 49 million into diverse assets. Then maybe if I keep like 1 or 2 millions, I would certainly, help my family and my friends and so on. But in the end, it comes down to, I think it's almost better to invest the money and make sure that you actually have money for the future as well. And then just, help for now, and then you're at the same stage again, like a few years later.
Okay.
So
absolutely.
I think that you could help others by helping yourself first and by doing some smart moves.
Perfect. Okay, then let's maybe come to this point later, because I think that's a stage where first of all we all have to say our point to this stage, and then we can continue. Emils, what do you say? What do you say?
I love how you were like eating chips and talking the same time. No, but yeah, I don't know. Now Carsten confused me with this 25 million talk. I was initially thinking about like 10 million, but because I'm not like a huge spender as well. Like I know my vision, how I want to like design my life, but yeah, let's just stick with the 10 million, I guess. But yeah, I would probably take the same route initially as Carsten, like to secure my wealth somehow, like to seek guidance and stuff, so I somewhat keep my net worth, right? But then I would I would design my life, like buy my, I don't know, a car, I don't know, like and I would actually really enjoy to, I don't know. Yeah, as I like never had that like a home, like a real like a low what you call, like in terms of where I live, I never like had like a real home. So I would like to move to a certain place and then really like contribute to that community, like to
Amazing.
like build like some library and like to help the youth flourish.
Nice.
That would be like oof, really close to my heart. And yes, and also to just bring forth these legends throughout history. I really enjoy the podcast that me and Cousin have done, like about these historic figures. I feel like they are like the, you know, how we have the Marvel superheroes.
Yeah.
But I think we can find even better heroes throughout our like human history. So I would like to like build some major statues, or like, I don't know, do some cool stuff, you know, like that, to really celebrate some cool accomplishments that I think we humans with time kind of moves into the what you call it, blah, 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 the
I think what you mean is like
yeah,
the heroes
disappears.
of every day. The heroes of every day. For example, is it what you mean? Not like Superman and Batman, but heroes who did something for society which affects them without but they are still invisible to this day. Is it that what you mean?
Well, yeah, like no Spider-Man statue.
Yeah,
That's not going
exactly.
to. I'm not going to fund that, unfortunately. But
More like, for example, like a statue of the guy who invented semiconductors, for example, right? That's what you mean.
for example, like
Nice.
if I like learn more about that guy's history and I really appreciate it, then of course, like, but like
Yeah.
some guys I would initially like make statues of would be like, I don't know, David Ogilvy, that me and Cousin has talked about. Like, he's a really cool person. Like, you know,
Yeah.
these people who like have had like super cool stories that is worth to bring to like echo forward to the future generations, because I think humans have learned, you know, these. I think we have answered most of the questions, but we tend to kind of not learn from history. So, like, yeah, just to help that process, to help people like learn from history, and so that we can, yeah, basically develop forward as humankind.
Interesting point. Interesting point.
So that would be like my answer. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I like the points.
What about you, Tim? How much money?
Yeah.
How much money?
Yeah, I mean, as the question isn't for sure is not easy to say a certain amount, but I would say 1 billion is a good amount.
All right.
1 million or 1 billion?
A billion.
Billion.
Because then you have a certain like power about it.
Right. Tim's a
and I think
politician, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think then the amount is so much that you can make it through generations if you make it, if you are not completely dumb. So you also, your grandchildren can have something from it, I guess. So what would I do with it? For sure, I would diversify like 60, or let's say 2/3 of it. I would just throw in different diversifications in shares of companies, it maybe even in states, shares of states, in real estate, in companies or startups, for example, where I by myself would be convinced of it. So complete. Also in Germany, we would say there's a word for it, but I don't know the English word. So, for example, old timers or collectibles. Collectibles. I would also make collectibles where I also have fun with it, such as old timers. Or
Like, what do you mean?
Collectibles is
like cars, or
yeah, but collectibles is a kind of a wealth strategy where you like collect things, yeah,
like
such
art,
as old timers or watches, where you probably have a
where they like increase in value, right?
increase in value. Thank you, exactly. Or where you speculate, but usually when you have some kind of interest in it, you will probably make the right move. For example, with watches,
I love that.
in the last years, it was always about Rolex and Patek Philippe, and yeah, you cannot make so much wrong with it, to be honest. Only if you make too much. But I think that's a nice field, and it's also really interesting to me. So 2/3 of it would be in these different strategies of value increasing, and the other third I think of this 1 billion, I think, let's say 1/10, like 100 million. I would, to be honest, I would just like enjoy. I would buy some nice cars. I always wanted to have a garage full of cars.
GTA style, yeah.
For sure. Buy some buy some houses in Germany, in some nice areas, maybe also in other countries,
For sure.
which is also maybe an investment because houses are never bad. So one in the Tuscany, one in Norwegian, one in Portugal, and 3 in Germany, for example. Okay, so like 6 houses, the cars, some watches, good clothes, just like everything should be exquisite, that you have like a basis of it. But 100 million should be enough. It shouldn't be more. It shouldn't be like, to be honest, I don't need a private jet. Why should I have a private jet? Well, yeah, I could also lease a private jet. I think it's a better investment.
Tim is thinking about it.
So I would make completely dumb stuff, such as eating a golden steak or something like that. So I think that's just people who have a lot of money and who really don't know what to do with it. They eat a steak for 5,000 euro, which has some gold on it. Maybe you can taste it one time, but why should you do it? It's completely bullshit. Yeah, but then it would be just 1/10, and then another 1/10 would be, as Emil said, it's a really nice thought. Like spent in your own region, like in the region where, because I'm kind of patriotistic with my own region, Baden-Württemberg, the state Baden-Württemberg in Germany, especially my own towns. I would definitely try to make a development program together with the politicians there to bring this region forward. And it could also be an investment. For example, we have this guy in our area, Dieter Schwarz. He's one of the richest guys in Germany. And he built up the university in Heilbronn, where I studied. He built it for like some billion euros. But now he makes a lot of advertising for his companies in the university and makes a lot of career programs. So a lot of university.
That's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's smart.
A lot of people who study there go to Lidl. Yeah, he's the owner of Lidl. Probably you know Lidl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kaufland and like all these chains. They will work there, make a working student job there. So it's not altruistic of it, but there is a little bit altruism in it, but it's also a perfect strategy for himself. It's a little bit egoistic, but why should it be a bad thing? It's perfect. And I would also try to like copy these models of these people who did amazing stuff with their money. Yeah. So first investing in the region, really investing in the region. Also with a lot of like all the vineyards in our region, I would try to help them build up better systems, which are, and this is an important word, which are sustainable, sustainable investments. Because why should I invest in something which is dead in 2 years when when you can invest in a whole process which can work for centuries? Infrastructure, and the rest of the money would probably just go to the family and friends. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
but yeah, two-third would be diversified in different investment strategies.
Yeah. I think Tim convinced me to go up to 1 billion as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we can choose whatever sum we want, we'll just go for 1 trillion. I don't care.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. Again, we are here at the point where it's not easy to have 1 billion because you always have to think about, okay, I think there is kind of a responsibility that we do something with the money because, okay, we earned it, we made something with it, okay, but we can imagine that's like opportunity costs what you're doing. Imagine you're just spending all the money for yourself, or you're doing nothing with it. It just lays on the bank or whatever. Yeah. But how much could you do with it? Which again is not only good for yourself, but also for the society, for the development of your region, of other regions. So it's actually your responsibility to do that. And I think that's what we need more in our society. I don't want to be more moralistic. I said how I think about the egoistic approach. Yeah, we are all egoistic, but there should be responsibility of rich people to do something with the money. That's like that. I think our society should honor this more, but we should also, yeah, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I think, guys, you have such a nice chance, opportunity of doing something with it, also for yourself. Why you're doing such a bullshit? That's my honest opinion, even as a full capitalist.
Wait, who? Who did you like?
Yeah, okay. So for example, we have to stay with this topic because later it continues to another topic. But so for example, imagine this one, you have two guys, okay? You have the one guy, Paul, yeah? You have Paul, and he built up a nice wealth with hard work. Yeah, it's definitely it's not only given by somebody, but it's hard work. And then he gets his money and he just lays it on the bank. He buys stuff with it and just lives. Okay, that's his right. He doesn't have to do anything else. But then there's this other guy who also has 1 billion. He's like, yeah, or she's called Larissa. She also had hard work in it, and she makes a whole infrastructure program in her region. She makes something for the schools there. She makes cultural programs, and she also diversifies her money. But this should be like, there should be a difference, and it should be seeable. You know what I mean? It should be visible, kind of. Or it should not be visible, but I would honor this person, this Larissa. Yeah? She should be honored way more than this other guy, because when you are so wealthy, there comes a responsibility, and it's, for me, it's like a job which an extra job which you have when you have such much money. You know, it's not like it's their right to not do anything about it and just have it, but that's my personal opinion about it. And it's probably not a capitalistic opinion, even though I'm a capitalist. But I thought about it, and in my opinion, when you are so rich, you have kind of the moral obligation to do something with it, because, yeah, I think now you get my point.
No. How is it not like capitalistic? Like which part?
Okay, this point. Okay, yeah, because a real okay, maybe that's just my friends, but I think a lot of people would say, hey, don't moralize people. They worked hard for it. Why should they? They can do whatever they want with their money. So that's a opinion I completely respect, but it's not mine. But a typical capitalistic opinion would be, okay, you earn the money by yourself. You can do whatever you want. I fully respect this opinion, but I'm, as a capitalist, say, when you have a certain amount, there comes responsibility and a moral obligation with it. Yeah, and it sounds left, but I'm not left, you know. So yeah, that's the point. So what do you say about it? Maybe you say, no, it should be there comes no responsibility. You can do whatever you want, and it should not have any societal effect.
No, like my thing is I don't see how that is not capitalistic, because I feel like I'm a huge advocate of small businesses. So if you make it in the capitalistic system, right? You have 1 billion, let's say. I think I don't see how that is not capitalistic to then invest their money to help other small businesses. To like
No, it is fully capitalistic. I'm just saying that my point of view, my opinion, maybe doesn't sound like a typical capitalist. But
Okay.
it's not capitalist, absolutely. Like, but it's just when you think about typical liberal capitalism, like I am, I'm in a liberal party. I'm a typical capitalist. So that was just actually it was not my point. It's just a say. I just said it as a disclaimer, but yeah. But I absolutely agree to your point. Why not? It's
Okay.
capitalism has so many faces. It has so many faces. It cannot be drawn down to one point. But it was just like, as the society sees it, maybe my opinion is not typical for it.
And which is that you want to enjoy your money and not do anything with it, like, or
I think the society sees the typical capitalist as somebody who wants to avoid taxes.
oh no.
To make money. That's how the society sees it. It's not what I say. Please, like I
No,
think that as
like,
I said, capitalism has way more to it. But that's how the society, at least in Germany, sees it. Okay, what is a typical capitalist? Somebody who avoids taxes or wants to avoid taxes. Somebody who is only egoistic, who just wants the money for himself and to invest it in something which is good for him. That's how the society sees capitalism, and I have a problem with that. I think that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think it's bad that capitalism has such a bad reputation nowadays, because it stops us from like, or it divides the society. Actually, it divides society.
okay, no, like I was just asking because I was just wondering, like, I don't know, but like, yeah, go ahead, Custon.
No, like, who wouldn't try to escape paying taxes if they could?
Now we have a good topic.
No, but I mean, maybe this is not. I mean, seriously though.
I mean, we didn't even completely evaluate the other point, but maybe we can come to it later. But okay, who wouldn't? That's a really good point, because I had this discussion with a really good friend of mine, and he that's why I was saying it's not typical capitalist, because he said to me, okay, wait, I would have thought you have a completely different opinion, but this question, okay, who wouldn't avoid taxes when he could? So I'm saying, okay, imagine you are normal guy who works normally. You have to pay your 42% in Germany. That's like the tax for high income, but it's not that high actually. It's sometimes just 100,000 per year or something like that. You have to pay your taxes, and you are not that rich that you can pay for consultants who help you to make, I would call it, magical stuff that you avoid taxes. Okay, you will just pay your taxes because it is like it is. But if you are certainly rich, or if you have a certainly high income, then you can pay for consultants who will make everything they can to avoid taxes, which is kind of all right. But then they will also go into gray zones, which are not forbidden, like usual gray zones. So it's not forbidden to do that, and the people are usually doing that. And in the end, there was like a calculation of I watched a documentary. In the end, the richest people have a way less income tax ratio than normal rich people who work hard for their money. So they pay the 42% income tax, and the really rich ones, they pay like between sometimes lower than 1%. So I'm asking myself, okay, there is something wrong to that, to be honest. And like, it's not, for me, in my personal opinion, it's not okay as a person to say, okay, I have the resources to pay consultants to use every gray zone that I pay almost no taxes. So what justifies that? In my opinion, you can do it, okay, it's not forbidden, but it's not morally correct, and it shouldn't be. I think, why should you do that?
I mean, I completely agree. I think that you are morally obligated to sort of give back to your to the society you live in. or to do something for the, which is beneficial for other people or for the society. But at the same time, if you have the opportunity to sort of pay less taxes, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, if you could manage to balance both, I think that's fine.
That's why, yeah, I see the point. That's, for example, in Germany, there's a system that when you invest your money in philanthropy, I think that lays back to the time of Rockefeller in the US, who avoided taxes by doing philanthropy, you know what philanthropy is?
Not really. What is it?
I don't have the real definition of it, but in the end, giving money in projects, in social projects, kind of that.
Just giving money back to the society. I think it's a simple way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would agree. I told you about this Dieter Schwarz project where he invests in the university, and for sure he has probably for him it's even a positive investment, but he also avoids taxes with it, because when he puts the money in the Stiftung, we call it Stiftung, it's like a social construct, okay? He puts the money in there, it goes into the university, and then he pays no taxes. So fully all right. Why not? Yeah, it's fine. But and that would be also like a tax hole, which I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing. But we have to be realistic. It's not only that. There are like really, really a lot of methods which are used where the people will just like, as a state or as a government, it's difficult to like close all the gaps which are there, all the tax gaps. I think it's not even possible. It will never be possible. Like, there will always be new consultants who will open new holes, okay? And for me, it's like this decision to hire this kind of consultants which are famous for making your tax amount as the minimum as possible, as legally possible. And the people are knowing what they're doing, that they are in gray zones, okay? So yeah, I hope that when I would be rich, I wouldn't say something differently, but for me, in my personal I'm convinced that this is not the right thing to do, okay? You can use your money, you can also avoid taxes by doing a lot of stuff, such as Rockefeller did or Dieter Schwarz does in Germany, okay? That's for sure, it's a little bit egoistic, but it's also gives something back to the society. So why shouldn't you do it? Probably it's better invested than into the state, because the state is also a really bad investor. We all know this. So I see the point. That's actually an argument which also a friend of mine said, which I fully understand. Like, why should I give so much money to the government? Because probably they won't do such good thing with it, what I could do. But I have a problem with it if you don't do anything with the money then, and when it's a gray zone. So these two conditions, you have a gray zone, also you use gray zones, yeah? Probably you know what gray zones are. Like, it's not forbidden, but it's also not allowed, but you cannot do anything about it. And when the money or the tax you avoid, when you don't use it in a way that it still gives something back to companies, to society, to whatever. So then I have actually a moral problem with it, to be honest. And then I would say, okay, the saying, why should somebody not avoid as much taxes as they can, then it's not correct for me if it goes that far.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, with this point that you don't want to like give money to the government. Yeah, I think it comes down to how corrupt the government is as well, like how much you trust it.
Absolutely, true.
I think that's there's a yeah, that's a factor
That's a
as
good
well.
point. That's a really good point, though. Yeah, that's okay. You know what? I did not think about that because I always was for sure thinking in my own like German viewpoint. But if I would live in Iran, for example, or in whatever fucking state there is, yeah, I don't want to say something against Iran. I say something against the Iran government. Okay, I
Yeah.
love Iran, but I say something against the Iran government. Um, So if I would live in a regime, yeah, in a state where I know, okay, this money probably goes into weapons and into personal bank accounts, then, Costin, then I would agree, yes, uh, use every tax gap that's possible because I don't want to be that money. But I know in Germany that, yeah, we also spend a lot of taxes into things where I would say, what the fuck? But I have to be honest, the huge amount is going into to society, into climate projects, and into infrastructure. That's you can see the statistics of German government money where it goes into. So it is good. Okay, it's not like they spend money for bullshit only.
I see. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you know that your government is investing all the money you pay taxes for into, yeah, as you said, infrastructure projects, you know, education and all kind of, you know,
Yeah.
beneficial uh sides of the society, then
Yeah.
but at the same time, if you're, yeah, much tax if they know
Carsten,
how.
could you repeat with your last sentence?
Yeah. Oh, did I freeze or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. No, but yeah, it's really sorry for that. I just got a message. No, but I mean, my last sentence. Yeah, I would say that I think that everyone, if they have the opportunity to sort of avoid tax, legally speaking, I don't
Mhm.
speak about illegal stuff, but just legally, I think they would take that chance.
Yeah,
Don't
I
you
mean,
think?
no, I don't think so because, mm, for example, I watched this one documentary and that was exactly about this topic because I can't speak for myself, because I'm not that rich and I have no friends, or maybe there are some friends, but I would never speak with them about it. Um, so I have no clue how it would be in my personal opinion, but when I watched this documentary, I thought about it. And there they said, okay, they spoke with some rich, really, really like billionaires. Yeah, they spoke with some of them, and they a lot of them argumented the way as you did, like why should I pay so many taxes when I can avoid them? Yeah? And they had their reasons for that, and they spoke about it and everything. And then there was this one other guy, and okay, you could say he's just saying it, but he's not doing it. Yeah, that's an argument. But he was saying, okay, he's paying the normal tax as he pays, so he doesn't get he said or he criticized the consultants which other rich guys take because these consultants, first of all, for sure they also profit by themselves from all that avoiding. They get really really high hour loans. But secondly, he says he can't make it out for him morally to use a consultant, but like this kind of consultant. He has a lot of consultants, but there are these special consultants in Germany which are famous for that. He doesn't use them. He criticized them, and he said, or he had the arguments which I said. I'm almost the same arguments why he's not doing it. So I think there are people, and I think there are a lot of people who are not using every gap which they get in their hands on. I mean,
I mean,
uh,
yeah, yeah. To one end, I can agree with you because it would be a bit suspicious if you pay like 0.1% tax on all your income, even though it's legal, but it would be sort of weird. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
But I still think that there are many people who would use tax gaps, so to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I also agree with you that, you have a moral obligation to sort of give back to the society. I think that's
Yeah.
that's fully correct.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm still. The problem is what I'm thinking about. Probably the word what I used, moral obligation. Maybe it's not even the right word which describes my feelings about it. It's more like okay, yeah, maybe it okay. I think I couldn't watch myself in the mirror. You know what I mean? When I know there are people out there in the middle, like in the middle class, they're working their ass off and paying 42.7% taxes. And I have the resources to use all the consultants to, in the end, pay 5% taxes. Probably the thing is, yeah, I think I couldn't watch myself in the mirror anymore. Only if I would change, when I have so much money that I would change completely and that I wouldn't care anymore. But if I stay the same person as I am now, if I stay the same person as I am now, from a now perspective, then I couldn't do it because I would say, what the fuck am I doing here? That's not the right thing. Only if I would use all the money which I again said, yeah, when I all the money which I avoid paying taxes, when I would use it in a good way, like Dieter Schwartz does it, then it's differently again. But yeah, when I would
Yeah.
just use it for myself, just use it as normal money, then I think I wouldn't feel good spending it.
But how much do you pay tax in Germany?
As a like
So per salary.
yeah, it's
Does
a
it depend? Is it a fixed rate or does it depend
no
on
no
how
no
much you
no.
earn?
It's a progressive tax rate.
Okay,
So
I
for
see. Yeah.
example, if you earn like 20,000 or something like that, then you pay probably 25%. And if you earn 60,000 or more, I think then it starts to like every euro you earn more than 60,000 um, is taxed by 42.7%. That's the highest tax rate. But then we also have a rich tax rate, which is for people who own over 220,000 or 240,000, and then they pay 45%. So that's in the end the highest amount.
Okay.
But a lot of people pay the 42.7%. So that's these are not rich people. It's actually, yeah. I mean, 60,000 euro is not that much in Germany, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. Usually when you do your masters and start working, after the masters you start with 50 to 60,000 euros. So you already are in this region of the highest tax payments.
But I mean,
And
this is
that's
this is
too
per
early.
year, right?
Sorry, what?
This is per year.
Per year.
Per
Yeah.
year. Okay. Yeah.
And that's way too early. Like, why should you already pay the highest amount of tax when you earn like an income which people after university start with? You know, that's not understandable for me. But there are some politicians who want to change it. But yeah, let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. So
Let's
that's
see.
about taxes.
Yeah.
What?
So
So
that's about taxes. No, but I think there are so many perspectives you can look at this from,
True.
whether you should pay taxes, whether you should avoid it if you can, and so
Yeah.
on, back and forth. But I think we could all come to one conclusion. I think, like, just three of us could agree that, it is always nice to give back to the society, or like to,
Yeah.
to somehow make it better. If you have some money, if you sleep on some money.
Yeah,
Give us
true.
some money. And
And
like,
we all, yeah, it's
no, I'm gonna talk, okay? Shut up, Tim. No, no, but I was just gonna say that shouldn't people like if you are a patriot in your country, like shouldn't you also like take a bit of pride in paying taxes? Like, I don't know, I like that was a
yeah,
idea
really
that
important. But that's absolutely fully. I feel that, yeah.
yeah.
Emil's, I think you know who I'm talking about, but there is one rich guy. He's very very rich, and you know, he's sometimes caught by the police for
Speeding
for
ticket.
speeding. Yeah, and he gets the speeding tickets in Finland and in Sweden, I think as well. No, at least in Finland, are based on your salary, on your monthly salary, and
Oh,
so
great.
when he gets fined like thousands and thousands of euros. Like
Wasn't
there,
it like 200 I don't know.
I think he got fined 70,000 one year. Or
Holy shit.
it was just it was a crazy amount. But you know, once he got caught and he was like, yeah, I hope at least the state are doing some nice with the money. So it was like he had such an interesting perspective on the whole situation. He was like, yeah, it was bad, but I hope the state will do something positive with the money. You know, maybe invested in healthcare or something.
That's really funny. Like a
Uh,
like a nonchalant way of yeah.
Guys, I have one good point to it, one really good point to it about as an argument for like, I would just say it. I think we all agree. I think we are all liberal, and probably I think we are all like economically a little bit more right. That's what I heard from our last conversations. That we are all like economically a little bit more right, like more for the free market, less power of the state. Probably that's all our opinion, I guess. Would you agree to that? Or is there somebody
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So then I think it would be in all of our three interests that in order to like in order that something changes, that for example we pay lower taxes, that the state really focuses on his work and not wants to interrupt and everything, then I think these people who try to avoid all the taxes and who use the system in a bad way, that they actually harm us, because we as responsible liberals, you know what I mean? We could be the people where the other parts of society, the politicians and the society in general sees, okay, wait, these liberals, maybe their arguments are not our arguments, but we understand them, and yes, they would do good with their money, so why should they pay so high taxes? So you know what I mean? But then, unluckily, there are the irresponsible liberals who who damage our goals, or at least my goals, to be honest. Because I know as a liberal, you have a lot of responsibility. You know what I mean? You have a lot of, because when the state goes steps back, yeah, the state is not. I hate a powerful state, to be honest. When the state goes steps back in all the areas, in all the personal areas, then he takes away his responsibility, but we as people have to have more responsibility again. That our, for example, that our society doesn't drift away, like out of each other, that like we have to care more about the weak people also. So if the state goes back, what I want, then we have to be more responsible. And then people who use systems and just act completely egoistic, then they are actually bad for my goals. So that's also why I hate people who would say, okay, or not hate, that's a wrong word, but that's why I would disagree with these rich people to say, I just do whatever I want, it's my money. You know what I mean? That's also the bridge what we were speaking about before, that with a lot of money there comes even more responsibility, and you should be aware of that responsibility, in my opinion. Probably that's the whole point behind it. Do you get it? Or would you agree? Would you disagree? Please give me your opinions.
I disagree because
Okay.
no, okay, no, but like yeah, I think the dynamic that you're speaking of, I think some people don't have the want, you know, to I don't know, maybe they don't even have the vision for
Mhm.
the future of like humankind or like their country or their region, so they are just using the money for their own pleasure and stuff.
Yeah, interesting.
And I think there's like this one I don't know, I can't really say it's a quote, but like yeah, a small phrase that when you get money, it only exposes like even more of who you really are.
Yeah.
So if you are a good person initially, and if you get
Yeah.
more power, then it just radiates more out of you. But if you
Mhm.
are a bad, like I can't say bad, but like you know, a person that is more selfish, I guess, it like also radiates that personal characteristic out as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it could be the other way around as well. Like, you know, if you are a good person, you could just, when you get money, you could just completely
Mhm.
you know, forget
then
about everyone and, you know,
Good point.
everything.
Good point.
I think I don't know. Would you say that that is the case if the person is like really like I don't know grounded in their like morals and values? I don't
I
think
mean, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, sir.
like thank you, sir. Just like you know, I think was it Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett that said that it's easy to get rich, but it's hard to stay sane. So I guess that is kind of your point, but I don't know. I would still have the faith in humans to keep their sanity, even though we have seen many cases that it isn't really happening. But yeah, I don't know. I would. I don't know. I think if a human truly has their values set and like know their vision and like stuff they stand for, it shouldn't really be a problem. But it's much easier said than done. So yeah,
Yes, that's the thing, that you said a good word there. If they're truly, you know, if they're truly loyal to the values and, you know, do respect everything, then sure. I mean, yeah. But if they are sort of insecure and, you know, what else you want to say, then probably, you know, they may turn around completely.
yeah.
Exactly. There can be good people with no values or no ground. Then they turn into like bad people. Yeah. But when they are good people with grounds and values and strong beliefs, then they probably stay good people. And then, and these are the people which should be respected more from the society, I think.
Sure.
Even because often these people are invisible because they don't speak about it, because they are such good people that they don't even have to speak about their things.
And also because social media promotes all kind of drama and shit. But yeah.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, I think there's so many really positive examples out there, which we don't even know. But when we would know about them, we would feel way better because probably these are the people who kind of hold our society together. Without them, we would be fucked. I think. And they
Yeah.
don't have to be rich, but it's just a lot of people out there are really. Without them, it would be difficult.
For sure. Yeah. And I think, yeah, me and Cousin are gonna make an episode in the future, 100% about Brunello Cucinelli.
Oh,
So he's
he
like
was.
this Italian. It's hard to call him a fashion guy, but like he's really awesome. So he's a billionaire, and
Okay.
he comes from Italy, and he has like
Yep.
built up like this little region where he lives. It's so beautiful,
Oh,
and
nice.
he has like hired all the people in that region to work like in his like you know clothing. I don't know, yeah, in all his ventures, so to say.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, so for sure, it's really important to highlight people like those.
Amazing.
I think that's so cool to build your own physical, like that's a physical empire,
Yeah.
you know? Your own sort of village.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Tim. I
I mean,
interrupt.
imagine how nice it would be. Um, I'm not sure how is with you, but the city you mostly identify with, okay? Maybe in your case it's the island, maybe in your case it would be Stockholm, whatever. Yeah? The
Yeah.
city which you mostly identify with. And then you take this as a project and try to make the city as livable as possible with even innovative infrastructure projects. You take on people with you. How nice would it be? And then in some years, you see how this city is fluing. Like a lot of companies are going there. People want to live there. It goes into the media, maybe. And even if you are not the name behind it, I think you will still be so fucking proud. I think it will be a feeling, okay, you really left something on this world.
For sure.
If it's seen, it's even better, to be honest. If there is a street after you, how nice would it be? There's a street like after your name. But I think that would be a really, really investment.
Yeah. For
And I
sure, for
think
sure.
I think that all of these guys that actually have a lot of money, and we're not talking billions, we mean
Yeah,
trillion, and
yeah,
that no one, yeah. I think they are actually the ones that are unknown, sort of,
yeah.
that no one knows about, because
True,
they just like peace and just moving behind the
true.
curtain, so to say.
Yeah,
Uh,
good point.
And I think
so
even like Charlie Munger said that I don't know if he did, but I'm pretty sure he mentioned in a interview that he would, if he could, it's hard to understand how he couldn't, but he said something like if he could, he would pay and not be on the Forbes list, like, you know. And I think people who are that high up, as you were talking about, Carsten, I think they have managed to keep their names out of, like, yeah, media, so to say.
Exactly. But it's really good because, again, this Dieter Schwarz from Heilbronn, he's the perfect example for that because nobody knows how he looks like. You only know his name.
Yo, that's so cool. Okay.
He's like the ghost, yeah. Um, and he's like the ghost of Heilbronn. And as I said, 1 year ago he was the richest guy in Germany. You have no picture of him in the internet, and he makes it because, for example, like that's the theory which came up in the media that he is like the ghost because um, his colleague from Aldi, you know Aldi, it's also a supermarket chain. He is really visible, or he was really visible. He was like a present guy, and his children got kidnapped.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and I think when you are extremely rich, you also have responsibility for your environment that nobody wants to harm them because you can always be oppressed. And then we are again at our beginning point with a lot of money. Like I think I think there are a lot of people who don't want to have more than 1 billion euro. I think not even more than what 10 billion, 10 million, because there comes so much with it which we wouldn't even think about. That you fucking have to care for your family and for your friends, that nobody harms them, that they can oppress you.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
It's a
for
little bit like
sure.
being a celebrity, I think. That when
Yeah.
you're a celebrity and always visible, I think we would not like to change with these people.
Yeah, and I think like that actually makes for a hard life in a way as well, like within the family as well.
Yeah,
I think because let's say we were like fathers of, like, you know, e- empire companies, or like, I don't know, major conglomerates. Like it would be a bit, I don't know, as you grow older, so I don't know, to maybe, I don't know, you have to really make sure you raise your children right, and like, you know, and like I don't know, to not get backstabbed and stuff like that. And yeah, it comes along with dangers.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's why it's like a balance. For me personally, it's like the balance between these points, yeah, these arguments, the big responsibility and like how intensive it will be to be so rich, but then also like this natural instinct to have it, to have the power, to have the possibilities, to have um, so many like also to really fulfill yourself, as we said, to support your cities and whatever. So it's like the balance between this instinct and the negative outcomes. And I think if you think about all these aspects, you could really say, okay, how much wealth do I really want to have? And I think a lot of people are probably 70%, when they're really truly honest to themselves, they would not like have to have more than 10 million.
I'm not actually sure about that, since I think I saw this somewhere that people kind of overvalue, I don't know, but like they kind of exaggerate how much it would cost to kind of, you know, reach their dreams, you know, to have like the private
Yeah.
plane or whatever. Like it doesn't actually, I think I've heard it like at a few places, that it doesn't actually cost that much to, like, you know, to have your dream car and like stuff like that. So you don't have to like be like this major rich guy. And I think many people would actually exaggerate their like their yeah uh, answer to how much money they would like to have.
Yeah, good point. But exactly, then we have the same opinion about it, because I also think that when everybody's truly honest about it, then it would probably not be, because I think when we would make a poll now, yeah, how much money do we want to have? I think the outcome would be probably an average of 200 million, 100 million. If you make a poll with 100 people or a survey with 100 people, probably the outcome would be average 200 million. But I think we if they heard our conversation now, yeah, and then would be truly honest about their opinion, truly thinking about it, then it would be way less than 100 or 200 million. And I think it would be 5 to 10 million, because when you evaluate all the outcomes which comes with it.
And also like a thing that I was thinking about, like maybe to have 1 billion isn't that necessary,
Yeah.
because if you even have this starting point of 5 or 10 million, like
Yeah.
I think you have to be really stupid to not make more money out of that network,
Exactly.
like, because you, as we said, like we would diversify it in different assets, and like we would make sure that that net worth would increase with time, like, so yeah.
But not everybody.
No, but like, yeah, you know what I mean.
I think a lot of people say, I want to be so rich that I never have to work again. I think a lot of people would take this low-hanging fruit. It wouldn't make them happy at all.
No.
We need work, we need an exercise. True, but I think a lot of people, when they don't think about it, as I said, especially when you are not so intellectual as 50% of the society minimum are, then you would just take the low-hanging fruit, as in the Bible with the poisoned food. You take it and then you don't know about the outcome.
I love the Bible reference. But yeah. And like I totally agree, and that answer kind of signals to me that maybe like it doesn't maybe like say necessarily anything about their intellectual level per se, but it definitely says to me that they haven't really thought that question through.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Okay, yeah, you can say. I think your words were better. Yeah, true.
so yeah.
Interesting.
Because yeah, like if there was nothing to do and you would like we're going back to the beginning of the podcast again, like what Carsten said, like money isn't anything actually.
Yeah,
You could be like, if the circumstances were perfect, you wouldn't need any money to be free. Like if you had the fish in the river, if you had a nice woman, if you had a house, everything was peaceful, like there wouldn't
yeah.
really be a need to like have money in, like, because
But
you would be
then
free.
you would need all the skills which we had 100,000 years ago, and I think we don't have these skills anymore to hunt, to care for yourself, to make fire. You know what I mean?
We have those skills, but we haven't learned those skills.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
there
Yeah.
are people who can't
Yeah.
do
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Sure.
it.
Yeah. True. True.
and
True.
and it's a shame that we have not made sure that we pass along those skills.
True.
I think it
Interesting. When you now think about it, these skills, which were so important for 1 million years, I think almost none of us, none of our society here in the West, can has these skills anymore to hunt for fishes, to hunt for bears or whatever, to make fire, to keep something warm, which when it's outside, when it's -5 degrees outside, to care for children without any medical treatment. You know, all these stuff which we could never even think about it. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah
I mean,
yeah
that's if you complicate it, but nowadays there are people that are not even, walking, let's say, 5 kilometers a day.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to break it down to the basics, I
Exactly.
mean, and our ancestors used to sort of walk around
outrun
40 kilometers a day.
yeah, and like outrun the animals.
Yeah.
I mean, as I told you, I'm working at this Rewe delivery service. So we will deliver food, drinks, and everything to people. So that's actually it goes more as that there's no way how it could be more different than 100,000 years ago. That you get all the food ready directly in front of your door. You don't even go to the supermarket anymore to hunt in the supermarket. Because I don't know how you feel, but at the supermarket, I'm way more alive. In the supermarket, I'm way more I have more attention about everything. Maybe that's still a biological reflex. When you see food, when you see which could bring you through life, in the supermarket, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take this. But if you don't
Yeah,
even take that anymore,
Tim wants
what?
everything, like
The food comes directly in front of you. Oh, yeah.
no, for sure. And that's the supermarket. Like if we go back a little in time, we have
Yeah.
markets, and I think they're even more suitable for for humans. I would argue, because
Yeah.
there are a lot more human interaction, and like, I don't know, more real food as well, not
Yeah.
not as processed and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. True. So in the end, I would not like to change the development, because why should we say, okay, the development is wrong? Who says it? We are not God, so we can't say the development which is done is wrong. Maybe it's exactly how it should be. It also, like, I think there was never so less, or not less, but I think the amount of people who are hungry or who have hunger is went down over the years. I think that's for sure. Like the ratio of people who are hungry, probably, or you look. I mean, hungry. I mean, hunger, death. You know, when you die, when you're what's it called? Fucking hell. Not that hungry. like rich people are, but when you have hunger, that you would die otherwise. I think the ratio of people who are like that probably are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not really.
Fuck you.
You
No,
mean
I think he's referring to the
starving, like people who are
amount of
starving.
people that are dying due to hunger.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe this development is right, but still it brings us further and further from our biological start.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What do you mean from our biological start? Like,
Yeah, how we as people started developing, like as
you
we
mean
said.
so you mean
I,
that more people like starved to death like in the past?
I mean, like when we go back 2 million years ago, where,
Right.
where people evoluted or like started being, then when you compare it to nowadays, as we said with the inventions, where we were not agreeing, but yeah, let's say the inventions which were always there, but now is like exponentially increasing. The same amount as the inventions increasing, the amount of how we differ from the starting people is also exponentially increasing. That goes hand in hand. And that's why I'm saying it. Why should we say that we should stop it? Yeah, how should we argument that? But in the end, it's a development which we can just look at, and it's interesting to speak about it. If it's bad or good, I don't know, but it's just interesting to see that.
Yeah.
And maybe in some parts we could go back a little bit again to our starting people from 2 million years ago. For example, with moving, as Costin said, that we also moved less and less and less.
Yeah, and like I think in a lot of ways we also have dropped exponentially in terms of I think obesity. Like if we
Yeah,
compare populations as a whole,
exactly.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
Now we are again in social topics.
Okay, but I have a okay, since we are like focusing on money and investments and so on,
Yeah, bring
I
us
would
back.
have a yeah, I would bring it back in sort of a question that would go like, what do you guys think is the most important to invest in your 20s?
Ooh, really good. Who wants to start?
I
Emils.
asked you the question, so it's either you, Tim, or Mills.
Emils to start.
Okay, I will start now. No, but yeah. Well, I think it's skill for like it's like a big part of it. It's skill and knowledge,
Mhm.
and the other major thing would be in like relationships and like socially to develop socially to be able to communicate well. I think those would be like my two top picks at the moment. Like, yeah.
I
But the
think we
question
are
was
again. I think we are
financial
again.
investing, or Costin, was the question financial investing? Or
Yeah, I think I will put it more because otherwise we will go towards that
Oh,
social direction
oh,
again.
it was like strictly about like money where we should invest the money.
Yeah. I think I expressed myself a bit wrong there, but yeah, about financial investment.
Well, damn, my answer wouldn't actually differ that much. It would be into self development and yeah, social experiences. But like, okay, if we are like speaking about like financial instruments, let's say, then I think a smart thing would be, well, I know like very little about this stuff, so yeah, But what I would say at the moment would be, if you have some sort of a job and some sort of income, maybe invest in some, I don't know, index funds, so you can start the compounding effect of money, which Warren Buffett is speaks a lot about. And also, I actually read that like Albert Einstein said that it was the eighth wonder of the world, like the compounding effect. But yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, that would be my answer.
Interesting.
What about you, Tim?
Interesting. Yeah, I would say definitely for sure ETF. Then also some shares from companies where I say, okay, I see potential in there, or I just stand behind them, or whatever. It probably is also personal connected. But yeah, at the moment I have I have one ETF and some shares of some companies where I personally say, okay, I see a future and I like that company also. For sure, it's always a personal. And you also have to look at the financials for sure. If there's everything right with the financials, the best would be if it's underestimated, then. But yeah, and then on a longer, like when I have fixed after my studies in 2 years, when I have a fixed income, I would definitely throw some part of this income into the ETF. That it is growing. Then I would also buy. Now I have to Google that word because it's a German word. What English? 1 second, please.
No worries, Tim.
English. Bonds, exactly, bonds. I would buy bonds of companies and states also. Like I think not only German state, but probably also some other bonds of the how's it called, from other foreign countries such as Norwegian or something like that. And then I would, when I have more wealth, then let's say I'm 30, 32, my goal is about 30 to buy an apartment by myself, like not for myself, but to rent it out, maybe live there for 1 or 2 years, but then rent it out when I'm building a house, for example. That would be a dream, to have this apartment, live there 1, 2, 3 years, and then when I would have a wife and a family, to then build up a house and have this apartment to rent it out. Then you also have some money from that, some rendite. And then last but not least, that probably comes when I have even more wealth. Then I would go for collectibles also. Like, as I said, old timers, I love cars, so for sure probably I would go with young timers where I see potential in there. Would also be a potential hobby, a personal hobby. And maybe watches, and I think that would be my strategy. And then also trying to make money out of, like, sorry, I only know the German word, but out of
Say it in German.
things such as music or books, or
royalties.
It's passive money. It's passive
royalties.
Royalties, exactly. So it's passive money where you don't have to put work in one time, but then you just get money with it. That would be, and for sure the own income should also increase, but I don't want to be dependent on it so much that
What do you like so much about ETFs?
To be honest, I think there's not so much I personally like about it. It's just like, it's so rational to do it because you have such a high diversification. It's proven right for the last decades. So I'm just thinking myself, okay, I think I won't do anything wrong with it. it's like throwing money on the bank, but with a higher outcome. So it's like 7% of the last 30 years. So I wouldn't put every money, every coin on ETFs, but for me, it's part of the strategy, which you should do when you really want to diversify, I think. And then you have the world, you have the emerging markets, and I think with these two, you can never make something wrong. Maybe you can also go for one other tech, like how another, for example, a green environment or tech or whatever. You can choose your own field, but yeah, that's what I think about it.
And how does index funds differ to ETFs? What's the difference? Do you know?
No, to be honest.
Because to me they are kind of the same, but I know that there is a small difference, but I don't know what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, probably I have to Google index funds first in German, that I have to, because unluckily I'm not the best with some. 1 second.
So yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should speak about that question one more time when we have when we have
Was
informed us about it. But
yeah. Because there are like mutual funds that are managed by someone, which
Yeah, exactly.
usually like implies like more fees, right? It's like more expensive to invest your money in mutual funds, but then you have index funds that kind of manage themselves, and I think that's the case for ETFs as well. But I don't know what's the difference really.
Interesting. Okay. I thought that they would be managed like that they would always be managed, to be honest. Like false in general, that they always would be managed
Well,
um,
like what do you mean?
in ETFs or funds. I always said the German words. And I didn't know that they would be managed by themselves, like with probably machine learning or whatever. I've not heard about that, if that's what you mean. Because then it would be cheaper, right? When they would be managed by themselves with like automized with machine learning and stuff like that, then it would make sense that it would be cheaper.
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly how it works. If it is machine, I don't know, but it kind of manages. It is managed by itself or like automatically, I think, or something like that. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Let's inform about it for next time.
Yeah.
Maybe Costa knows, but
Well, he's looking up something.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out some stuff here. But yeah, what I have found about ETFs and invest index funds are that ETFs trade on exchange just like stocks, and you sell and buy them through a broker. And index fund are bought directly from the fund manager.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
So it's
Ooh.
the way how you trade it, how you buy and sell it, that differs.
yeah. Even though it feels like funds, ETFs, and so on are kind of similar things.
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah,
are just a mixture of stocks and
exactly. Yeah.
bonds and so on. Yeah.
That's what I thought as well. Um, yeah, but it's interesting to know. Okay, ETFs are traded through brokers, and index funds itself are directly bought from the fund manager, something like
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
so the market base is just a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, makes sense.
And where do you find the fund manager? Like, yeah, I don't know.
You call him on a website. Who is?
Hey, yo, I want to buy some funds. Do you have some?
But I think it's probably. Oh,
I think nowadays, to be honest, it feels like you can buy ETFs and funds and so on through just platforms.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
that's the
think they
case
are
as
made
well.
it Yeah, I think they have made it so easy to, buy. So it doesn't really matter how you buy it because it's just you can just buy it through platforms. So yeah.
Probably that's why funds itself were so famous nowadays because of ETFs, where you can trade it via brokers. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe earlier before that it was more difficult because you really had to have contacts. I don't know, but who knows? Nowadays it's easy.
How easy is it to invest in Germany in, for example, stocks and funds and so on? Do you find it as a easy process or do you find it
Yeah.
complicated?
I have the German app, Trade Republic. Have you heard from it?
Nope.
It's just an online broker. You could also go through normal banks or even neo banks, like newer banks, but you could also go through traditional banks and make your depot. We call it depot there, and they will make it for you, or you make it together with them, or whatever. But I'm using the online broker because it's way cheaper. You only have to pay, I think, €1 per trade, which is not that much. And yeah, there is on these online brokers, because they are so cheap, you don't have so many possibilities. You don't have so many companies which you can trade in, but all the important ones which I am interested in are there. So for me, it's completely enough at the moment. And yeah. Oh yeah, it's easy. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's pretty easy in Germany, and I think it's not that different than from other European countries. But what about you, Costin?
I think your camera is off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, now.
Now we can see you.
Tim is tired.
So what about you,
Yeah,
Costin?
no, but I think that investing in stocks and funds is quite easy here in Sweden. We use Avanza, or I think the major investors use Avanza because it's a really really nice platform. I mean, it's really you can what do you call it? I'm having a real blackout right now.
Trade.
And yeah, you can trade easily and manage everything easily from there.
Yeah.
So I think that's what uh, that's what people in their 20s could invest in. So that would be stocks and funds. But I think also gold is one interesting thing. I don't know if that's recommended for everyone. Um,
Mhm.
I
Interesting.
have no idea, but it just caught my interest a few months ago. Um, and it's quite gold to invest in gold.
Yeah. But how do you think could it be a good investment? Gold.
I think it could be a good investment because it's sort of it feels like it's more tolerable. Could you say?
Yeah. There's something behind it, so you
Yeah.
always know it probably won't fuck up. Won't be a bubble about it. Probably that's
Yeah,
what you mean.
exactly. It's more stable and it's not like fiat currency.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
Uh
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's more like it's not infinite and they can't print as much as they want.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
it feels like it's a stable investment.
Mhm.
And it's really
Mhm.
easy to buy gold as well here in Sweden, I would say.
But
Um
do you really like? Is there a positive outcome, like return? Is there a positive return to it? Like really positive? Like what is it year by year when
I'm not
you
I'm
look at it?
actually yeah, let's see.
But I think I've heard in like a lot of cases you buy gold to kind of preserve like the value of your money, not
Yeah.
to maybe especially like maybe specifically double your money or have
Yeah.
some major returns.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Makes
buy it when
Makes
when the
sense.
stock market is kind of crazy.
Makes sense, absolutely.
Um,
So then this is it's an add-on actually. Gold or metals in general are probably then add-ons to your usual investment strategy, I guess, to make more stabilized, to stabilize it more.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
Okay, what else? Costa?
Let's see, 30 years. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
graph here with the gold price during 30 years. It's kind of hard because I don't know how to show it, but after 2008, it increased quite a lot until
Okay.
let's say 2012, and that was after the crisis
Financial
in
crisis.
2008.
Yeah.
So it kind of increased until 2012, and then it fell sort of again,
Okay.
and then it was on the same level until 2019
Okay.
ish, and then it started to increase again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Pre-pandemic.
So there's a relation to crisis.
Yeah,
When there's a crisis, when people have the feeling, okay, there will be crisis, and they invest in gold. Okay,
yeah. And I
interesting.
actually talked to a person from a gold store, or it wasn't a
Okay.
gold store, it was from a store where you could buy jewelries, but they're also selling like gold.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I mean, it's really common that we have people coming in here with a sort of a certain amount of money and that are ready to invest, especially in crisis. And that
Yeah.
is that is just
Interesting.
because it's a more safe and stable investment.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Cool.
I think it's interesting to just
Really
diversify.
good. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. What else, Costa?
Well, I would say, yeah. So if I would categorize it, I would put like gold and funds. No, I would put stocks and funds on the like first place because that's the most accessible, so to say. Then I would put gold, and then the third would be, yeah, what would the third be?
Bonds. Like Tim mentioned.
Yeah,
Real
I don't know.
estate.
Real estate.
yeah. I mean, in this case, yeah, because I put like bonds and stocks and shares up in the first one.
All right.
So I would include all of those things up there, and then gold.
Okay. But okay, but maybe to be more specific,
Mm.
would you buy, like, first of all, would you buy shares like
Okay.
of one company? Would you buy
Yeah.
shares of one company? Like, or do you already? Or
I mean, it completely depends. I think it completely depends from persons to persons. I
okay.
do own stocks, yes. I mean
Yeah.
shares. Uh, but I think it also depends how you want to diversify your risks, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to go for a stable investment, you could, for example, buy a more stable uh, fund, right, with
Yeah.
lower risk,
Yeah.
and maybe not invest so much in actual stocks.
Mhm, mhm. And with bonds, you would also buy bonds. I guess with what I could hear out of it, like, would you buy more like company bonds or state bonds, or
I would buy more
how do you
like
think about it?
I would buy more like company bonds.
Company bonds. Yeah.
Or like, yeah,
Okay.
funds that are based mostly on company shares.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know, but I see that as long as you're young, I think you should go for the more riskier investments.
Uh-huh.
Not stupid risks. Don't say like stupid risks, but I think
Yeah.
you could, um, in some cases, be able to take some
Some
riskier
risk
choices.
to
Yeah,
try out, to try
yeah,
out and
yeah,
to
yeah. And that's
get more knowledge, as Emil said, to get more knowledge about it. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
absolutely.
exactly why I think it's so nice that, all these platforms allow you to trade so easily. I mean, you could easily start, for example, just trade it with 10 euros or 100 crowns, for example, and then you
True.
see like,
True.
okay, let's see what happens. Like,
True. That's a really good point. That's I would say that's a revolution. Fintech, financial tech, is I had a actually I had a course about it in the university. And it was an amazing course. You learned a lot about it. And they said that we had three. financial revolutions. The financial revolution 1.0, with money as a currency, and the first marketplace where you could trade shares and stuff like that. Then the second one, with the second financial technology revolution, with the ATM, where like there was also everything was possible online. You could, the way how you communicated with your bank changed, so you didn't necessarily had to go to a person who gives out the money, but you could just do it via online banking and stuff like that. And now we have the financial technology revolution 3.0, fintech, and there it comes that it, like, the goal of it, to bring access to all of the world, to also to poor people, to secure your money or to invest, not only through neo brokers, neo banks, but also there are systems in Africa where you can pay. It's called M-Pesa. You can pay with your cell phone. So you have on your cell phone, you have a bank account. That's your cell phone number, and then you pay with your cell phone, and you can deposit or withdraw money in like gas stations and other authorized. That's like authorized shops from M-Pesa, and like this system claimed that they brought 2% out of the the country Kenya, 2% out of the Kenyan population out of poverty.
It's
So
the thing why I reacted so nice when you said fintech, because it was during my exchange semester we had a course called Financial and Economic News, and our financial, like our final report, we had to choose a topic which we should talk about and write about, and I choose fintech, and I made
nice.
It feels like I could talk about it forever, because
Amazing.
our paper, I just found my paper, was called Fintechs, the Path Towards Green Economies, Financial Inclusion, and Clean Tech.
Yes, yes.
And I think, there are so many benefits that can
Absolutely.
come with the fintechs.
Yep.
So
True.
it's just crazy, yeah. And as you said,
Especially,
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
especially that's really a development which could help all people on the world. Like also,
Yeah.
it's especially built for poor people, that they have systems, as you said, with neo brokers, that you don't need now €1,000 or €10,000 to invest in something, but you can just €10, €1 is enough. You can always, like these neo brokers, you can always buy like shares of shares. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to buy a whole bond, but you can, for example, buy a share of a bond, and then you can also invest with €5. And then you have cryptocurrency, where you don't even need a bank. You can have decentralized exchange of money. Yeah, let's see. I love the development. Let's see how it develops. I mean, I'm not a fan of these people who directly jump on the train and invest all their money in Bitcoin, what the fuck, or NFTs. But getting into it, getting knowledge about it, maybe investing a little bit to see how it develops, why not? It's absolutely fine.
What is the neo brokers? What do you mean by that?
That's like the online investment platforms, such as
Oh, okay.
Scalable Capital, Trade Republic. How are the other called? Revolut is, I think, is another one. Yeah, I just know the German ones. I'm not sure about the other ones. But also, how is it in Sweden? The costume Avanzas?
Avanza, yeah.
Avanza, yeah.
Avanza, exactly.
And then we have like others like Trading 212 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because before that, you always had to go to your bank, for example, and make a new. You got like their own. It's called depot in Germany. I'm not sure what it's called in other countries, but the bank opened you something that you can trade, and it was much higher. The costs were much higher. The fees were much higher, because there were always people behind that who managed it kind of, and the whole process was, there was a lot of bureaucracy and stuff like that, and now you can just download the app and invest directly.
Yeah.
Super cool. Super cool.
It feels like fintech is it's another topic that I could talk about for a good amount of time.
Absolutely.
And financial inclusion, I think, you mentioned your example. I think financial inclusion is a very, very nice topic to talk about as well.
Yep, absolutely. Even in the Western countries, there is a bigger amount that we think who are underbanked. Even in the US, I think it's like, I'm not completely sure about it, but I think it was like around 10% or even more, 10 to 15% who were or underbanked, like who have no bank account or almost no bank account, like almost no resources to have a bank account. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It will
All right, guys.
follow.
Some last words. Because now my mouth is getting dry.
Yeah. No, I think it's time to say goodbye, because we have had. I think this is our longest podcast. No, it feels like it.
It's like 2.5 hours now.
Yeah. But
I just feel how my mouth is making things which I can't explain.
Can't explain. All right, guys. So, hey, thank you so much for listening to another Philosophy Culture episode. Thank you so much for Tim for joining us and making the longest podcast ever. Do you have some last words, Tim?
It was. Okay, sorry. I was really.
What's so funny? Everybody's tired.
Yeah.
They're starting to laugh.
But actually, that's a good outro. We just keep this outro.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Until next time.
I was not prepared for that, but guys, it was an amazing podcast. I think that's the end we needed now after such a serious talk, that we have some fun. And yeah, it was amazing with you guys that we like drifted into topics which we're not even thought about speaking today, but as we speak about everything. So it was really nice, and I'm looking forward for the next one. And I'm really grateful that I can speak with you guys so openly about everything, and you're open-minded and I'm open-minded as well. So yeah, that's how we should live democracy.
For sure. Yeah. That is perfect. Perfectly said.
Exactly. And if anyone has anything to add to our topics, or just to comment on this episode, don't hesitate to comment down below. And
exactly.
Subscribe so you can see more of our episodes, and more episodes with Tim included. So
Timmy boy, yeah, and these episodes will help you navigate life spin. So yeah, hey, till next time.
Adios.
See you.